No, they don't have 6. No fucking way. This one I'm actually pretty excited about. Ara History Untold is very much up my alley. It's not going to be for everybody.
Hello, and welcome to Oxide Games. We founded the studio in 2013 with our decades of personal experience building some of the most beloved strategy games of all time, like Civilization V. We came together to create something.
I'm still in shock how much better Avowed looked.
We all love.
Very excited about that.
Ara History Untold is
yeah, this looks awesome.
Of making.
Ara is
Hey.
an homage to historical gamers, strategy gamers, 4X gamers. It features all the depth and gameplay fans of this genre love, where you'll explore the world.
Definitely a
expand your
4X
nation,
game, but
govern your
with
people, and
different.
engage with your rivals
See,
on
I love
international
the
stage.
idea
But it
of
isn't
like
just more of the same.
actual strategy and combat
Ara,
in
we
these
wanted to
games.
challenge some of the preconceived
Just
notions
correct me if
about
I'm wrong
genre,
if there's 4X
pushing
games that do
forward a
that, but
modern,
I don't remember
empowering,
that
and
in
truly
Civ
compelling and approachable way.
or in like.
For example, we
I'm
have
trying to think of
over
another
100
one.
instruments on display in the office, which are all things that we purchased in order to add to the soundtrack and expand the game and make it really good. Hi, Dan.
What's up,
That's
Dan?
Dan. We started in
Shout
his
out to
basement.
Dan. Let's go, Dan.
It's been an amazing process to see. From
Shout out
concept
to Dan. Oxide
We started
Games
small,
Dan.
building a robust game engine, questioning our design assumptions, and prototyping out features, rediscovering what made us fall in love with strategy games in the first place.
The end result is Ara, the historical grand strategy game that presents a living world where you can rule how you want to rule and chart your own path to becoming the most prestigious nation on the planet.
For Ara, we knew we needed deep systems with outcomes that encourage exploration and give players the power to experiment and make meaningful strategic choices while still having agency over their playstyle.
We also wanted to explore more in different parts of history and give players from around the world the chance to see the game reflect their unique perspective and not just ours.
And finally, we knew that for players to feel the impact of their decisions, they would need to see their choices reflected in the game world itself, not just through numbers on a menu. One of the first differences you'll see when you dive into Ara is what we call the living world. It's a procedurally generated alternate Earth, bursting with life, an intuitive, authentic, and immersive space, a blank canvas for players to paint the society of their dreams.
The living world isn't just a map, it reflects the choices players make over the course of the game. They can see everything from the settling of the wilderness to cultural influence
sick.
on architecture over time to the thousands of citizens living their lives and reacting to the changes. We want players
They're like,
to feel
fuck
like
this
they're
shit. You
truly
did a terrible
occupying the
job
world,
here.
leading their people as they thrive and grow. Core to the vision of Ara is our philosophy of rule how you want to rule. And no feature
Oh,
better
damn.
simplifies this than the prestige system.
To win a game of Ara, players will compete with their rivals to build the most influential, impressive, and important nation the world has ever known. This is measured by prestige, the player's score that proves their work as a leader.
Prestige.
The prestige system gives players
I have
the
one
chance to
complaint.
decide what kind of leader
I
they
want
to be.
I want game
And
developers to
pursue great
stop
works of art and
using the
culture.
same
Military
12
might.
words for
Scientific
everything.
advancement. The choice is theirs.
Prestige. Yeah, I think Avowed looked
Ara,
really
there are
good,
no
Eric.
set major
And I think that
Players get to
Hellblade is going to
decide
be
what is most important to
absolutely
them
fantastic.
and
If you're into
focus
either of those
prioritize
games,
on
great.
those
Indiana
goals
Jones is still
while
yet to
still
come.
being able to win.
And Visions of Mana was
Personally,
here.
when I play Ara, I like to build triumphs. Triumphs are our collection of incredible.
Stop
alignments
using
and
the same
architectural
thing
achievements
like
throughout
gear
human history.
score,
Like the Great
prestige,
Pyramid of Giza.
XP.
They're hard
Like
to build,
switch it up.
but worth it. Giving
Just create
huge
your own
prestige
names.
bonuses and game-changing abilities
Creativity,
to the nation
guys.
that constructs them.
Another aspect of Ara that I'm personally excited about is our crafting system.
The
Yeah, Avowed
crafting
looks
system
really
offers
good.
a unique challenge to the player that they generally won't see often in the 4X genre. Succeeding at balancing, gathering the right things, turning them into the tools. that
This
you
looks
need, and
really fun
finally
if you like 4X
getting to the
games.
outcome or reward of something like an important improvement or triumph just changes the challenge that exists in Ara compared to other 4X games.
Crafting plays out in Ara at a national scale, with players honing and combining the natural resources they harvest into all manner of goods and components.
Like
Those are the
dildos.
foundation for everything.
For the
from
whorehouses.
international trade to improving their cities and citizens' lives, and even manufacturing the weapons necessary to draft military units. The crafting system in Ara encourages thoughtful, advanced planning. It rewards players who can see the strategic outcome of all their collective decisions, and not just the individual ones.
I'm proud of the work that's gone into our simultaneous turn system.
I like
Many
this.
strategy games have players alternate taking turns and reacting to their opponent's moves. In Ara, all players' actions are resolved at the same time. This rewards players' ability to navigate uncertainty, to predict and strategically plan.
I like
a
that.
variety of scenarios
I
involved.
really like
This
that.
system makes Ara just feel more real. In a typical strategy game,
They have
once your
actual
turn is finished, you have to wait for it.
deep dives on
Simultaneous
these
turns
systems,
generally
by the way,
speaking,
on their
there's times
channel.
of
So
being
hit up
low,
Oxide Games if
get
you want to
keep
learn more.
playing the game and stay engaged rather than having those periods of downtime where you're not doing anything.
It's not easy sifting through all of history and picking what to include. For Ara, we wanted to offer a fresh perspective, so we looked at
Pagoda.
cultures and societies throughout the millennia with the broadest lens possible.
Where this approach really shines is in our leaders. Leaders are so often seen as military personnel or prominent government figures, but leaders come in so many different forms. They're thought leaders, scientific and cultural prodigies, and many more.
Each leader in Ara has a number of special abilities determined by their personality traits, as well as a powerful and unique leader trait informed by their contributions to world history.
With a diverse global roster, we know players will find leaders that they will want to play. And even a few that may surprise them with how fun it is when those leaders are handed
It's always
the reins
fascinating to
of
see
power.
what the reactions will be to directs like these. Because if you're not into the game, this is like the worst format to see a game in. But if you're into a game, it's the best format. Yeah, I
Building the
agree. I think
game
Ara looks
alongside
incredible.
real players has given us that critical player feedback. In the end, we believe this makes for a deeper connection between the players and the game.
One of my favorite examples is when we first introduced the concept of dangerous wildlife to the game. It turns out, in our first iteration, it was maybe a little bit too aggressive or disruptive.
Laugh.
We knew we should probably make a change when one of our insiders made a forum post that was just,
Cougars, cougars.
Cougars, I hate cougars!
someone get these feline beings.
No one hates cougars. Stop it.
I'm happy to report, based on more recent feedback, that I think we ended up in a good place with the overall threat level of mountain lions to a player's citizenry.
I love that they like real time react to like events that are going on. That's something that a lot of 4X games don't do.
We can't wait for players to get their hands on the game later this year.
But the launch of Ara
Fall.
is only the beginning.
No,
We're going
holiday.
to maintain our insider program after the release date and continue to listen to players and support the game into the future.
They look so
On behalf of
thrilled
everyone
about
at
that part.
Oxide Games, thank you for joining us today. We can't wait for you to play Ara and to create your own history.
Fall. Okay, so we got 2 games coming out in fall, but that's great because they don't cut. They're not the same audience. Like, so it's Avowed in fall and that in fall. So those 2 games coming up, they're going to be obviously different months, but they don't cut into each other's